Have you ever been bitten by a mosquito? If so, you know that a red itchy bump can appear on your skin. Sometimes mosquitoes carry germs, so a bite can make people very sick. Any animal or insect that carries and spreads disease is called a vector. Let's find out more about vectors in the real world. Insects, animals, and other organisms that carry infectious diseases are called biological vectors. Vector is a Latin word that means carrier. Vectors transmit diseases to humans. They can pass diseases on to animals and plants too. Biological vectors are often, but not always, arthropods. Arthropods are invertebrate animals. Invertebrates don't have a backbone. Insects, spiders, worms, and jellyfish are all invertebrates, but only insects and spiders are arthropods. Arthropod vectors include ticks, fleas, lice, and mosquitoes. A tick is a blood-sucking arthropod that lives in wooded or grassy areas. It is an arachnid, a group of animals that includes spiders. Ticks are carriers of Lyme disease. Lyme disease is caused by infection with a type of bacteria. First, black-legged or deer ticks get the bacteria when they bite small animals that are infected. The type of bacterium that causes Lyme disease is corkscrew-shaped. The disease is spread when an infected tick bites a person. Lyme disease symptoms include fever, chills, muscle aches, and fatigue. An aphid is a tiny insect that feeds on plants. It is a biological vector that transmits many plant diseases caused by viruses. Using its mouth like a syringe, the aphid sucks sap from the plant. The aphid's mouth parts transmit the viral particles. In this way, the aphid spreads diseases from plant to plant. Mosquitoes serve as vectors for many deadly diseases that affect humans, including malaria, dengue, West Nile disease, yellow fever, and Zika. Given its small size, it's hard to imagine, but the mosquito is, in fact, the most dangerous creature on Earth. The diseases carried by mosquitoes infect hundreds of millions of people every year. Many millions die from these diseases. Mosquito-borne diseases have killed more people than all of the wars in history. Both male and female mosquitoes feed on plant sap and nectar. However, in order to reproduce, female mosquitoes need the protein and iron found in blood to help their eggs develop. Females get the blood from animals and humans. To supply her eggs with these nutrients, the female mosquito searches for a host. Mosquitoes attack a wide range of hosts. These include other insects, fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals, including humans. The female deploys a range of methods to identify a host. She will use her eyes to spot a victim. She can also sense a person's body heat and the carbon dioxide we exhale when we breathe. Mosquitoes are also attracted by body odor. Scientists have shown that the odor of blood helps the mosquito to quickly locate its host's veins. When the mosquito lands, it probes for a thin-skinned area with a vein using its proboscis. Think of the proboscis as a system. It includes 6 thin, flexible needles. When a blood vessel is found, the system of needles pierces the skin and sucks blood out. The needles are so sharp you can barely feel them. Part of the proboscis injects saliva into the skin. The saliva numbs the area and helps to keep the blood flowing. Within a few minutes, the victim's body identifies the mosquito's saliva as a foreign invader. The body's immune system sends white blood cells to neutralize chemicals and microbes in the saliva. This reaction is what causes the itching and swelling. After a few days, the bite mark usually fades away. Most of the time, mosquito bites are just a nuisance. However, if a mosquito is infected with a disease-causing microorganism, it can be a vector for the disease. When the mosquito bites someone, its mouth parts or saliva can then infect its victim. As vectors, mosquitoes spread diseases throughout the world. Mosquitoes only transmit the disease. A mosquito cannot directly cause illness. Bacteria, viruses, and parasites cause the diseases that mosquitoes transmit. Scientists have discovered that not all mosquitoes are the same. Certain species of mosquitoes are carriers for specific diseases. For example, the female Anopheles mosquito is the only mosquito that transmits malaria, the world's 5th leading cause of death from infectious disease. Malaria is caused by a single-celled microbe. This organism is a parasite. When the microbe enters the body, it lies undetected in the liver. Here, each cell multiplies 10,000 times. After a couple of weeks, the parasite enters the bloodstream, where it infects red blood cells. Symptoms of malaria include fever, headaches, and nausea. If drugs are unavailable, infected blood cells can block the capillaries that carry blood to the brain. In severe cases, it will cause disability or death. Malaria occurs in more than 100 countries. That puts about half the world's population at risk. There are medicines to treat malaria and to help prevent people from getting the disease. Researchers are developing a vaccine, but poverty is the main reason people die from malaria. Poor people cannot afford preventive measures or, once infected, cannot afford transport to hospitals or needed drugs for treatment. Another mosquito-borne disease is Zika. The Zika virus was first discovered in 1947. The virus was first isolated in a rhesus monkey living in the Zika forest located in Uganda. It was later identified in humans in 1952. Over several decades, it was reported in many nations in Africa and Asia. The Zika virus, like all viruses, is not alive. A virus is basically a set of giant molecules. The virus particle hijacks an organism's cell and then uses that cell to make copies of itself. Like malaria, the Zika virus is spread mostly by one species of mosquito called Aedes aegypti. People who are infected with the virus can get a mild fever and a rash. Symptoms include joint and muscle pain, headaches, and red eyes. However, 80% of people who are infected with the virus never show any symptoms. Given that vector-borne diseases have well-known causes, in what ways can we prevent them? Vaccines are one way to help prevent getting a disease. Developing a vaccine involves the collaboration of many scientists and medical experts. 10 to 15 years of research may be needed before a vaccine can be introduced to the public. Vaccines are a well-established technology that help to stop the spread of many diseases. Scientists who study diseases are called epidemiologists. They study diseases to help prevent them from spreading. An epidemiologist focuses on identifying the causes of disease outbreaks, as well as developing strategies to prevent disease from spreading. Most epidemiological research is in the laboratory. Epidemiologists may also conduct field work in outbreak areas to help monitor and contain a disease. Entomologists are scientists who study insects. Some entomologists focus on understanding the relationships between insect species, humans, and the environment. For example, entomologists discovered that the female Anopheles mosquito, which carries malaria, bites primarily between the hours of 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. This finding allowed scientists to recommend that people in affected areas sleep under a mosquito net to help prevent malaria. Similarly, scientists learned that the Zika virus is spread by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, and then found that the mosquitoes bite during the day. Their favorite time is 2 hours after sunrise and several hours before sunset. By knowing how, why, and when mosquitoes bite, doctors and scientists can recommend precautions to prevent getting bitten. These precautions help people to avoid getting the vector-borne diseases. Attacking the problem from the other direction, we can also look at controlling the spread of the vector-borne diseases. In this case, there are many possible approaches. By studying mosquitoes, entomologists learned that all mosquitoes need standing water to hatch. People can stop mosquitoes from laying eggs or keep their eggs from hatching by emptying containers with standing water and frequently changing water in flower pots, wading pools, and bird baths. We know that a female mosquito looking for blood finds human targets by detecting heat, carbon dioxide, and certain odors. Insect repellents have been used for decades to keep the pesky insects away. Look for this Environmental Protection Agency graphic on the product to see if a repellent is effective. Many cities and towns aim to reduce mosquito breeding sites by spraying insecticides to control the mosquito population. Insecticides are substances used to kill insects. Many of these chemicals are targeted toward the larval life stage of an insect. With better technology, scientists have developed a better understanding of how temperature and rainfall can impact the spread of diseases, like malaria and Zika. Computer models indicate that higher temperatures will allow mosquitoes to spread to new areas. Many experts think that climate change may hinder efforts to control insect-borne disease. Through continuing research from various scientific areas, we now know more about infectious diseases that spread through insects and other biological vectors. By understanding the natural history of vectors and how they transmit diseases, we can prevent and control the spread of infectious disease. As a result, scientists and doctors keep people healthier and save millions of lives in the real world.